think that having the planning mechanism, it has been a huge benefit for Lincoln. Lincoln's one of the first communities in the country historically that is really a planned community. And I think like this economic downturn, shows that planning does pay. But when we talk about planning, we also think of public safety. I think public safety is probably one of the highest priorities for most people in Lincoln. Can you go and elaborate on some of your plans for improving public safety?
Yes, and you look back to the history of property taxes, and property taxes were started for public safety, police and fire. That's the reason why they were there, more than anything else. And I think that's the core. We need, and the police department is doing a good job. We need to maybe get more police officers. We need to, and the police chief is doing a good job of getting priorities taken care of in the city. But we see upspurt of some types of crime that we want to take care of, and that a good example is south of the Capitol. I think that the police have focused on that area and starting to clean it up. And that's the thing, is to get right on top of crime right away and not let it develop. The fire department, I think, is just a great example of hardworking, good people, well-educated professionals that do a very good job. The mayor just added another ambulance to the 5 that we have now. We have 6 that operate across the city, which reduces response times. Very important in life and death situations, response times. And so that's the thing, we've got to look at, where do we build new fire stations? Because the city just annexed a large amount of property. The first time in the last 10 years we've annexed so much ground. Those people need services, police and fire. So we need to figure out how to protect and serve all those people out there. So it looks at investing in money and time into police and fire stations, that because you've got to protect the citizens, you've got to be out there, you've got to be able to respond within 4 minutes as the national standard. So it's very important, police and fire protection, health and safety. You know, one of the things that the fire department does that people don't think about is they look at where there's hazardous materials, hazardous chemicals in the city. And as a planning commissioner, we've seen in industrial areas where you'll have a warehouse full of hazardous chemicals, and right next door you might have a children's gymnastic academy. We've set up regulations where we'd be able to notify all those kids and parents that that's there, exists, and then set up the necessary ordinances to protect those people, because they have to coexist in an industrial area. People don't think about that, but it's the protection of the citizens again that we have to look at when we look at zoning issues or whatever else. Is we can't let hazardous material be close to citizens without the protections that we put in place. So those are examples of health and safety.
Excellent, excellent. So would you be supportive of expanding the number of police officers or firefighters? Is that an issue that you've looked at all? Yes,
and we looked at it, and I've looked at it in the budget, and you would like to, because the city's growing, it's getting bigger, and we have more citizens to protect and serve, and so yes, you've got to add police and fire. That's, you know, they can't be asked to do more and more work with less people. It's just it's unfair to the people working, and it's unfair to the citizens to have to expect good response times when we keep reducing their departments.
Sure. And would you be supportive then of building some new fire stations too?
Right, and I know the fire chief he met with the planning commission to show that because of computers and everything else, they're reorganizing how they respond. But eventually you're going to get to a point where the city's going to grow so much, we've got to have a fire station out on the edge. And yes, we need to plan that now because we know what's going to come in the future.
Oh, very good. Well, our guest today has been Gene Carroll. He's running for City Council. It's been a really interesting conversation, and I want to encourage all our viewers to come to our monthly Lancaster County Democratic Party meetings. We meet every third Tuesday of the month down at the CWA Hall, which is Communication Workers of America, at about 25th and N Street at 7 p.m. There you'll get to go and meet wonderful candidates like Gene Carroll here. You can go and volunteer for different campaigns, but then there's also the activities of the party itself. There's the issues committee, there's going and doing fundraising, there's all sorts of things. So please do consider getting involved, and remember to vote on April 7th and May 5th. Do you have any closing remarks for us, Gene?
Well, I just say, you know, I born and raised in this city. I just love the city of Lincoln, and that's why I want to stay here and help the city council. I want to bring my professionalism, my certified planning, city planning degree to work, and the experience to work for the city, and just move the city forward. I work with the mayor. I think the mayor's doing an excellent job with our city. He needs help, and I want to be there to help him.
Excellent. Thank you for
Thank you very
coming.
much. All right.